The following episode of Dad vs. Daughter Playthroughs was made possible by a contribution from Asmadi Games. Hello and welcome to another episode of Dad vs. Daughter. I'm Tim the Dad.
I'm Megan the Daughter.
And today we are playing Impulse. Now this is a 4X game, which stands for Explore, Expand, Exploit, and what do dialects say?
Exterminate.
Yes. So the way we are going to do that is we are going to have a quadrant of space that we are going to fly our little spaceships around in, and they look like this. They're really cool. You have two different types of spaceships. They look identical. The transport is going to be standing, whoops.
Not like that.
is going to be standing straight up like that. And a cruiser is going to be lying down just like that. So you're going to have 12 ships that you're going to be able to possibly build and command as a fleet. When you build, usually it'll tell you that you can either build anything you want, or you can build a transport, or you can build a cruiser. Now, the game is all ruled by cards, and there are a bunch of different types of cards that have different types of actions that we're going to be able to do. And so I'm going to go over those. Actually, Megan's going to go over those. I'm going to show you. But you'll notice that a card here has a title, or an action, which is your command. It has a color, in this case yellow, and it has a size. The size is indicated by the number of gems or crystals or minerals or whatever you want to call them that are over here on the side. So, Megan, what does command do?
It allows you to move your ships around this quadrant.
And if you see down here, it says command one cruiser for one move. Next we have build.
Construct new ships.
Research.
Add to your texts. And the texts are on the bottom of your player board, and they are down here. So when you get a research card, you get to add on to these texts, and we'll kind of show you that more as we play.
Right. Next we have execute.
Execute allows you to use a card once, and you kind of get to use the text to kind of follow along what that actually means.
And then we have plan.
Plan allows you to add cards to your plan, and that is also on your player board here. It's on this side, and your minerals are on this side, so we'll kind of explain that more too as we go along.
Okay. We have draw.
Draw, basically, add cards to your hand.
We have trade.
Now you sell cards from your hand for points, and points is very important because first person to 20 wins.
Yep. We have refine.
Refine allows you to sell minerals for points, and the minerals are on, as we said, left side of your player board, and we'll get to that more as we go along.
And to kind of go with that, we have mine.
Add cards to your minerals. So that's kind of getting your supply so then you can sell them for points.
And then I think this may be your favorite card.
It is.
Sabotage.
You can destroy ships without a battle. And battles are important, but sabotaging is just as equally important, or even better in my opinion.
And when we get to battles, we'll talk about that more in turn. So let's take a look at our player boards here. I will be the Draconians. And the player board, as we talked about, we've got different parts. We have a side that we're going to plant. We're going to put our minerals. We have a side where we're going to put our plan. And then we start off with two basic techs. Now the basic tech on the left is the same for everybody. But the one on the right is unique to whichever player board or command board that you're using. In this case, mine says, research one card from my hand. It must match color and size with the last card on the impulse. And we'll talk about the impulse here in a minute.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and on my unique tech is command one cruiser for one move through an unexplored chart. And my card is Hercules.
Now, the game is called Impulse, and that is really the crux to the game. What we're going to do, and on our player card here, it actually tells us, it walks us through the order. And the very first thing that we do is we add a card to the impulse. Now, when we do that, the impulse can have a max of up to 4 cards. Now, we choose a card from our hand. We're each going to start with 5 cards in our hand. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to add a card to the impulse. So I just look through my hand here, and I put a card in the impulse. Then on the second part of the turn is use one of my texts. So I can use one of my texts down here. Then the third is use the impulse card in order. So what we're going to do, as the game progresses, we're going to each add a card to the impulse. When we get to 4, at the end of the turn, then we're going to trim the oldest one, which would be the topmost one here. We'll get rid of that, and it'll be back down to 3. So when the next person adds 1, it'll be 4. But each player is going to be able to take this action. So when you're putting cards to the impulse, you got to kind of think ahead, because do you want your opponent to be able to have that action as well when they have their turn and they use the impulse? So, and we'll explain this as we go, because I found that this game is one of those games where you really need to watch people play it in order to get a really good feel for it. So the other thing that we're going to do is we are going to set up the board here. So let me take a minute and get that set up, and then we'll kind of walk you through that. Okay, so now you can see how we have our little part of the galaxy set up here. In the middle we have the sector core, and the sector core is important because whenever we have ships there, like this cruiser, when it's on a gate like that, we are going to be able to score 1 point. And we're going to score a point for each gate that we have a ship at. Or if we have a transport in the middle, it says score 1 point. So we're going to be able to do that. Now the way we have this set up now, you see our ships here. This is the starting setup. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to look at our home base here, and we can change this card with any card in our hand. Okay, so what we've done is we've gone ahead and we've replaced our home base card with a card from our hand. Ironically, we both chose mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So what we're going to do is when we fly around the map here, whenever we go through an unexplored territory like that, we're going to flip this card over, and we're going to take it into our hand, and then we're going to replace it with either that card or another card that we have in our hand. So that helps us kind of build our little section of space so that we can take advantage of that more than the other guy. So what we're going to do is we'll just play along, and we'll try to explain things as best we can during the play. So Megan,
I'm going to go first.
Okay, first we need to do is add our ships here to the score track.
Okay. Alright, so turn phase. Turn 1 is add 1 card to the impulse. So I am going to add I'm going to add mine over there, and I'm going to use one of my techs. So I'm going to use my unique basic tech, is command 1 cruiser for 1 move through an unexplored card. So I'm going to go straight through, and I'm going to see what this card is, and it's that, so you guys can see it. I'm gonna keep that there. So there's that. Use impulse cards in order. So there's only 1. So mine.
Go ahead.
1 blue card from your hand, which I do. So that's gonna just tuck right under there.
And the minerals are important because that's going to allow her to boost some of these effects. When you look at these numbers that are in a white box, you're going to be able to boost that. And when we boost that, we'll explain that a little bit better. Okay.
Okay, so I've used the impulse cards. Use or delay a plan. I do not have any plan. So score sector points, and I will get 1 point. And draw 2 and trim the impulse, which we're not going to do this turn. We'll do it next turn.
The great thing about this card is it walks you through your turn. There's not really a lot of confusion there. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, first thing is add a card to the impulse. I will add a trade card, and then use one of my techs. So my tech for the Draconians is research 1 card from my hand. It must match color and size with the last card in the impulse. So the last card in the impulse is a blue 1. I have a blue 1, and I am going to add that now. I have this ability. Whenever I want to use my basic tech, I can use this instead of anything else. So
it's pretty helpful for you.
So I've used one of my tech. Now use the impulse in turn. So mine 1 blue card from my hand. Well, wouldn't you know it, I've used all my blue cards. So that's not going to help. Trade 1 red card from my hand. I do actually have a red card. It is a red, and it's a 2, so I'm going to be able to trade this in, which basically means I discard this, but I'm going to get points equal to the number of the size of this card. So in this case, I'm going to get 2 points. So do that, discard that card, and
use or delay your plan.
I have no plan, score sector points, I'm not in the sector, and draw 2 cards and trim the impulse, but we are not to 4 cards yet, so we don't trim. So now it's back to Megan's turn.
Let's see what I want to do. think I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play refine up there. I'm gonna do that. So use your text. Use one of my texts. I'm going to use the generic basic text. So discard a card in order to either command one fleet for one move or build one ship at home.
And a fleet can be any number of ships. Like this would be a 2-ship fleet. This would be a 1-ship fleet. But you can also break fleets up. So if she wanted to, she could just move that as a 1-ship fleet.
Which I think that's actually what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go here. And let's see what this card is. It's a research card. But I don't think I want to do that. I want to change that to... let's make that another mine. So we'll do that. So I use my text. So use the impulse cards in order. So mine a blue card. I do not have a blue card in my hand. Trade one red card from your hand, and I have 1 gem. Is that going to be able to boost me up any?
No.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah. When you boost, you have to have, basically you add up the number of crystals that you have, or gems or whatever, and then divide it by 2. So since you only have
just
one.
Wanted to clarify. Okay, so trade 1 red card from your hand. I have a red card, and it has 2 gems. So,
so you're going to get 2 points.
Yep. And then refine. Refine 1 red mineral card for 1 point per gem.
Which you only have a blue mineral, so
yep.
That's not going to help.
That's that. No plan. Score sector points, so that's another 1 point. And draw 2 and trim the impulse.
So we're not quite ready to trim
not
impulse
yet.
yet.
Alright.
But we will after my turn.
Yep.
Okay, so now on mine, I will add a card to the impulse, which I think I will add that trade. I will use one of my basic texts. And you know what I'm going to do is I want to move, so I'm actually going to use the common basic tech that everybody has. Discard a card in order to basically command 1 fleet for 1 move. So I'm going to discard that. I'm going to move these guys. Actually, you know what? Do I want to do that? No, I want to move my cruiser. That's what I want to do.
Okay.
I want to move my cruiser up to the sector core.
What card is that?
Well, you don't have to see it, but I'll show you guys.
I saw it. You fail in your secrecy.
So I'm actually going to put this command down there.
You failed this galaxy.
I failed the galaxy. Well, I am green, and they are kind of like arrows.
Pew pew.
Okay, so that was my basic tech. Now I'm going to use the impulse in order. So I'm going to mine 1 blue card from my hand. I actually do have a blue card.
There you go.
So I will slide that, tuck that under there. Yeah. And then trade 1 red card from my hand. Not going to do that. Refine a red. I don't have a red crystal or gem or whatever. And finally, trade 1 blue card from my hand, which I do not have. Okay. So I don't have a plan. Score sector points. I will get a point for that because I am there. Draw 2 cards, and now we will trim the impulse. So now this top one comes off, and that gets discarded.
Yep.
And now it is Megan's turn.
My turn. Let's see. I am adding a card. I'm going to... going to add the command. So use one of my texts. I'm going to discard... I'm going to discard this card, and I'm going to build a ship. So I'm going to put that right there. And use impulse cards in order.
So the first thing is trade 1 red card from your hand.
I have a red one with
2
points.
Crystals. You can refine 1 red, but you don't
have a red anymore.
Trade a blue card.
No blue. And command 1 cruiser for 1 move. So I'm gonna go dunk, and let's see what this is. That it's that card. And I'm going to change it. I'm just gonna leave it be. So I'll do that. So I've used the impulse cards in order, no plan, score a sector point, which will be 1, and draw 2 and trim. So there we go. Nope, draw 2. There we go.
Okay, well, let's see what I want to do. I'll go ahead and I will add that command there. So now, so I've added the card to the impulse. Use one of my texts. Now I'm going to use my build tech here, which says build 1 cruiser at home. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to build that guy right there on that gate. Use impulse cards in order. Refine. I don't have any reds. Trade. You know what? Yes, I think I will. I'm going to trade this blue card in, and that'll give me 2 points.
There you go. And command 1 cruiser for 1 move.
I'm going to move this cruiser on up and kind of reinforce my position there.
And this one is command 1 cruiser for 1 move.
Actually, I should have done it a different way. But
probably should have.
That's okay. Not going to do that.
Okay.
So use my plan. I don't have a plan.
Score sector points. You'll get 2.
No, I only get 1 because you only have 1 gate.
Oh, okay.
Where was I? Was I on a 4?
Yeah, you're at 4.
Is that right?
Yeah. Let's double check.
Okay, so after a little double check there to make sure we were right on the points, I've used the impulse, no plan, scored the sector points, draw 2 cards, and trim the impulse. So that refine goes away.
Yep. Okay, add a card to the impulse. I'm going to add, let's get that out. I'm going to add this draw card. Use one of my texts. I'm going to command a cruiser for 1 move. You're an unexplored card. And I'm going to go boop. And let's see what this one is. Tis a trade. And I'm going to leave that there. So there's that one. Oop, there we go. Use impulse cards in order.
Okay, so trade 1 blue card from your hand.
No blue.
No blue. No blue. Command 1 cruiser for 1 move.
Probably wasn't smart. I probably shouldn't move that. Okay, let's do this. So can I go through this card?
No, because I am on the gate.
What if I go through that gate?
No, I mean you can't go through the card because there's an enemy on the gate.
Can I fight you?
You can fight me.
Okay, let's fight.
Okay, so then what you do is move your ship. You'll move your ship to my gate.
Okay.
Okay. Put it like that.
Okay. So defender places reinforcements face down.
Okay, I'm the defender. So basically, and I'll walk you guys through this as we go through the reveal here. So I'm going to put that down and that down as my reinforcements. Okay, so now we reveal what we have. And you don't have any that match the impulse. So actually the attacker doesn't need to bluff because you're not going to be putting anything down. So I bluffed because I put this card down because it's a green 2. There's no green 2 in the impulse. So this actually goes back into my hand. But what this does is because this green 1 matches a green 1 in the impulse, I'm going to get 1, basically 1 power, so to speak. So now what we do is we each draw a card for the number of cruisers that we have and add that to our total. So go ahead and flip it up. So you're going to get a 1. I'm going to get 2 cards. So I get 2. So my total is 3. Your total is 1. Your ship is destroyed.
You sunk my battleship.
So I get a point for that. And I also get a point for winning the battle. So I just jump up there. So now all these cards get discarded.
You more than me.
Yeah, I really wasn't sure why you did that other than to show our viewers how battling goes.
It was a tutorial.
Yes.
And what not to do, and you kind of have that situation.
Well, considering that I had the upper hand and you didn't have anything to match the impulse.
So I'm not going to use that command because I'm not going to fight you again. So draw 1 card from the deck and then draw 1 blue or yellow card from the deck. And it's a blue.
So you get to keep it. Cool.
Yep. So no plan, score sector points, which is 1.
Trim the impulse.
Yep.
Draw 2 cards.
And your turn.
Okay. This command down there. So I've added the card to the impulse. Use one of my texts. I'm going to build 1 cruiser at home. So I'll build that cruiser there. Use impulse cards in order. So command 1 cruiser for 1 move. So I'm going to actually move him up. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to do that. He's not going to go there. He is actually going to go here.
Okay.
So now I draw a card, and then I will draw either a blue or a yellow. It is not, so I discard that card. And command. It says command a 2 cruiser fleet for 1 move. So I will command this 2 cruiser fleet over here for 1 move. We will do battle.
Why'd you have to do that?
Well, I felt like it. So as a defender, you get to place first. And we flip. So you're going to get a +1. Mine is nothing.
Yay.
So now you get to draw 1 card. So your total is a 3. I get to draw 2 cards. Uh-oh. It's a 3. So we tie. However, in the case of a tie, the defender wins.
Woo.
So Megan, you're actually going to score 3 points out of this
Nice.
because you're going to get 2 for destroying both cruisers and 1 for winning the battle. So that kind of was not good.
It's payback. Right?
Remember, we are trying to teach you the different aspects of the game, not necessarily who's going to win.
No, it's about who wins.
Oh, okay.
That's a big part of it.
Sure. Okay,
So
so
it's documented.
that was
That was the command.
that was that.
Use to delay your plan.
No plan. Score a
Score.
sector point, which I can't do,
Ha-ha.
and draw 2 cards and trim the impulse.
Trim, that command goes away. Push that down. Okay, add card to the impulse. I'm going to put down this plan. So use one of my texts. I'm going to discard a card. And I'm going to build a ship at home. So I'm going to build that there. And use impulse cards in order.
Okay, so command 1 cruiser for 1 move.
So it's that here. And I'm going to go here.
Okay. Draw a card, and then draw either 1 blue or yellow.
That's right.
Okay.
Command a 2 cruiser fleet for 1 move. I don't have 2 cruisers.
No, but it always goes down, so you can command a 1 cruiser fleet.
Pew. Put that on that gate, and let's see what this card is. I kind of like that card. I'm going to put that card there instead. Okay, and plan 2 green cards from your hand. So I'm going to... I'm going to plan this one and this one.
And I apologize for the ambient noise if you can hear it. Our dog just ate her dinner and is now getting a drink rather loudly.
Yeah. Sophie likes to do that. Okay.
So now you actually have cards in your plan that you can do if you want.
I will.
Okay.
So,
Now this basically acts as your own personal impulse, but it's a one-time use, and you have to use, or you're going to get rid of all the cards whenever you activate your plan.
all or nothing. So draw 2 cards from the deck. 1, 2. And then execute 1 size 2 card from your hand, or execute one of your texts. So I have this size 2 card, and I'm going to execute that. So that means do it, correct? Execute.
Execute
Yes,
means
use a card
yes.
once.
But, okay, because it is a plan, you will actually create a new plan that you will not use until next turn.
Oh, okay. So, can I take that back then? Since I didn't know what that really was.
Yeah,
When I gave you a Gipsy Backsy.
you did.
Okay. Yeah. I let you remove your ship after you already placed it.
Okay.
Yeah. So command 1 ship fleet for 1 move. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna move to there.
Okay, so now you get to, actually you're going to be able to boost this now because you have a ship and a gem, so you add those up together, you have 2, so that's going to give you a +1 boost. So you're going to be able to trade 2 size 3 cards from your hand if you happen to have 2 size 3 cards.
Can I use 1?
Yes. You,
Okay. So
So-
I've got 3 gems there.
Wow.
So that's 3 points.
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
This is what you did in the last few games we played.
So the plan's done. So that goes in the discard now. And score sector points, I get 2. And draw 2 and trim. So that goes away, and we'll trim that.
Well, you might have been right. This was going to be a quick game because, as usual, I'm getting my butt kicked.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything. I could still kick my butt in return.
Well,
the tables could turn.
Yeah, well, it's
could.
not looking really good. You know, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put this mine down.
Okay.
So use one of my techs. I will. What do I want to do? That's not really going to help me. So I'm going to build another cruiser.
Okay.
Put it right there. So use impulse cards. So I'm going to draw 1 card, and then I'm going to draw a yellow or blue. It is not.
Command.
Command a 2 cruiser fleet for 1 move. I will command a 1 cruiser fleet for 1 move. I'm going to go ahead and go fly around over here and see what this card says. You know what? I think I'm going to leave that card there. So that was this command. Plan two green cards from my hand. Well, I actually have 2 green cards.
There you go. You want to do it?
You know what? Why not? Go ahead and add those to my plan there. And then mine, what's that say? Mine 1 size 1 card from the deck.
You played it.
Survey says no, so I don't get to mine it. So now, use or delay my plan.
You want to use
Do
it?
I want to use it? You know what? I think I will. So the first thing says it's a plan, which says plan a card from the deck. So I'm going to plan this, and that's going to be my next plan there. And it says then plan 2 cards of its color from the deck. So blue, hey, there's a blue, and that's a red, so that doesn't count. So now I go to execute 1 size 1 card from my hand, or execute one of my techs. I think what I'll do is I will execute one of my techs, and I will build another cruiser.
Okay.
So that plan is done. So I'll discard those cards. There will be my new plan for next turn. Score sector points. I'll score 1 point. And draw 2 cards and trim the impulse.
Okay.
We'll get rid of that.
Trim. Okay, add a card to the impulse. I'm going to add sabotage.
Oh no. And we'll explain that when Megan gets to the point where she's blowing my ships up.
Yeah. Basic tech. So I'm going to use the generic one. And I'm going to discard a card, and I'm going to build a little, build that there. Build a cruiser at home. And then use impulse cards in order.
Okay, so command a 2 cruiser fleet for 1 move. You only have 1 cruiser fleet, so go for it. That's transport.
Okay, so Okay.
Okay. Plan 2 green cards from your hand.
Do I want to do that? Or... Yeah, sure, I'll do that.
Okay.
And
Oops, sorry.
yeah, that. Okay.
Okay. Mine 1 size 1 card from the deck.
Okay, and it is a size 1 card. Okay, and then sabotage.
Okay.
Sabotage a fleet with 1 bomb.
So what happens here is when you sabotage, you have to be in the same quadrant as the person you're trying to sabotage. So in this case, Megan actually has 2 ships in the same quadrant as mine. So a bomb basically is turning this card over and seeing if it is a 2 or 3, then that causes one to blow up, but did not, so I lived to see another day.
It sucks. Yeah. So use or delay your plan. I think I'm going to use it.
And the delay the plan, I know we didn't talk about that, but you don't have to execute your plan until you get 4 cards, and it tells you right on the side of your little player board. It says cannot delay if 4. So as long as you have less than 4 cards, you delay it until your another turn.
Yep. Okay, so plan 2 size 1 cards from your hand, but I only have that. That's going to be in the separate plan. And then refine 1 blue mineral card for 1 point per gem. So I do have a blue mineral, and that's 1 gem, so that's 1 point. So there's that. It's been used. I'll move that up. So I use that next turn, right?
Yep.
Okay, so score sector points, which is 2.
Yeah.
Draw 2 and trim. You have a chance still. I'm only at 19.
Yeah, well, I've got to be able to take out both of your ships in the sector core there in order to make this work.
Yeah, kind of.
And I don't think that's really going to happen.
We'll try.
Okay, so, well, we're going to see what we can do
You
here.
gotta try.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's all for naught.
So I'm going to add that. Let's see if I add the right one.
You kind of gotta know what you're playing, dude.
Yeah. Okay.
That
So
helps.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and so that was adding to the impulse. I'm going to use one of my techs. I'm going to discard a card to command 1 fleet for 1 move. I'll discard that. I'm going to command this fleet up there. Hopefully I may not have done that right, but we'll find out here. Mine 1 size 1 card from the deck. Hey, it is.
There you go. So now you have sabotage.
That tucked under there.
You can use.
Okay, so I don't have any way to boost that because I don't have any red cards. So sabotage 1 fleet with 1 bomb. So I'll sabotage this guy right there. Hey, it's a 3. That's a hit. That ship gets destroyed, and I get a point.
Yep.
Okay.
Command a 2-ship fleet for 1 move.
So yeah, so this.
Are you serious?
Oh, of course. Why do you think I brought that guy up?
But
So, hey, show some respect for your senior citizens.
you're
So
not battled
we're
yet.
going to fight there. Megan, you get to put your reinforcements down. The other thing, too, when you do reinforcements, you get to look at your plan. And if you can match the color and size on your plan as well as the impulse, then that also counts as your reinforcements. So I am looking, and I am not going to do anything because I don't have anything that matches. So you have 1, 1 red matches that.
Yep.
So you're going to draw 1 card.
2.
Oh, so
3.
you're 3 total. I need some big cards, no whammies.
Whammy.
Oh, there's 3,
Crap.
and that'll be 6.
Wow.
So that takes you
was-
out there.
Jeez.
So I'm going to get a point for the ship and a point for the battle.
That just brought you up.
It did.
Oh.
And so that was the last part of the impulse. Do I want to use or delay my plan?
Delay.
Let's see. Actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my plan. It says trade 1
Seriously?
yellow card from my hand. I have a 1, so that's going to get me 1 point.
Oh, please don't.
Uh,
Don't. No, you were so far behind me.
build 1 transport at a location you occupy. Now, locations you occupy are where your transports are at. So I only occupy 1 area, so I'm only going to get to put 1 guy there. I haven't even moved my transports. So that is my plan. I'm going to score sector points. I'm going to score 2 points for those 2 gates. So did you put me 2 points?
No.
Put me to 2 points. That put us even? No. Was I at 18?
You were at 18.
Are you sure? Let me
Pretty sure
let's
you're
double
at
check that.
18.
I didn't think I was.
Thankfully,
I think if we
I
were reading
misdid
that correctly.
this.
So then I will
You scored the sector points.
score the sector
draw
points,
2 and
draw
trim.
2 and trim.
Okay, so I only have 1 card, so I'm going to have to add that. So use one of my techs. I'm going to command a cruiser.
Now that's your unique tech, right?
Yeah. Command a cruiser for 1 move through an unexplored card.
Well, that's explored,
I
so you're not
know.
even going to be able to move him.
Okay, so use impulse cards in order.
So mine, 1 card from the deck,
Okay,
or size 1 card.
that is
One
a
size
size
one.
1.
Okay.
So that's good.
Sabotage. Well,
We're in the same, because aren't we?
yes we are.
Okay, so I don't have any cards to bet, but
Well, sabotage you don't. You just draw a
Okay.
bomb. So
Bomb.
is it a 2 or 3?
it's sabotage.
Okay, so
That should
command.
count for something.
Command a ship for, what's it say? Command a 2-ship fleet for 1 move. So your ship can actually try to take mine out, or you can
Can I just
retreat.
loop around?
Yeah, you can do that too.
I'm going to loop around.
Actually, that's smart
Yeah.
because then
That
what
at
are you
least
going
gets
to do?
me a sector point.
Yeah.
So
And what does the
we
sector point do?
I haven't finished my turn yet, okay? Sector points give you points, but let's just wait. So refine one mineral card for 1 point per gem. I'm going to refine this blue card for 1 point.
Which
I'm going
puts
to
you at
continue
20.
with my turn.
You don't, because the game's over. Once you hit 20.
I should, because then I could have 22.
So, let me hand you this trophy made of...
Stardust?
Yeah. Okay, I mean, that was a well-deserved trophy.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
This actually was a really good game. And you'll know, in a two-player game, a lot of times you're not going to explore the entire quadrant or the entire map.
You never have a two-player.
Because in a two-player game, you're starting right there and there. So chances are you're probably either going to go to the core or the sector core, just a little bit around it. When you have 4 players, you're actually going to start at the corners here. So pretty much the map is going to be all explored within the first few rounds, if that. So let's get to what we think about this game.
Okay, to be honest, when I first started playing, I absolutely hated this game. And it wasn't because, like, I wasn't good at it. It was just a totally different new concept, totally different new game mechanics. I was not used to any of it, and I was just overwhelmed, I think.
Well, and there's a lot going on here.
There
I
is.
think a lot of the problem that people have with this game is they do get overwhelmed, just like you were saying. There's 10 different types of action cards. You know, we covered those at the beginning. Looking at the different colors and the different sizes on the card, the different types of ships, it really is, you know, pretty confusing. And that's why I think that once people watch how a game is played, things are going to start clicking in place because, you know, the first game you were a little overwhelmed, but you actually picked up on things. You just didn't really know what cards to play when and that sort of thing. And then, like the second game, the second game and even the third game that we played, it's documented on our Facebook page. You can go check it out there. But yeah, you picked it up pretty quick.
I seem to do that. Like, I always lose horribly the first game if it's a new game, and then I just kick butt.
And you're just learning that, so that doesn't really even count. But
beginner's luck, maybe. I don't know.
But no, this really is a cool game.
It is.
And I think once you get the hang of it, then it's no big deal, and I think people will like it. What else?
I like it. It's cool. I've never played a game with this type of setup, really, where you like explore different cards and you get to do all that.
Well, and that adds
cool.
That adds to the replayability because you know, granted, you're gonna when you flip over one of these cards, you're gonna be able to say, oh, do I want that there, or do I want to put it in my hand and put another card there that's gonna basically benefit me because it's close to my base. But you know, it's a card game, and there's 100+ cards, so you know you're gonna have a lot of randomness there. So it does. It's not going to be a game that you're going to say, oh, well, it's the exact same game that I played last time. It's not, because the impulse is going to be different. The board's going to be different. And the rule book will even tell you, you can either choose or pass out which of the factions you want to play with.
I've always used the Hercules one. I've never explored any of the other ones. I probably should some other turns, because that might change it, but I kind of like to stick with what I know, but I probably will, you know, change it around sometimes.
Well, and the game plays up to 6, and so there are 6 different factions that you can play as. And if you go out on Board Game Geek, somebody's got an article out there that tells you which is better, you know, what does this race do better than this race, and, you know, basically how you should kind of strategize that. But that really, once you cover up your unique basic tech, then everybody's on the same page, really.
I like the colors. That's my girly side. I like there's a purple option. Purple's my favorite color beside blue, so I always like it when there is a purple option. There is a blue, but I thought I would go for purple, because if there's purple, I go for purple.
So you got yellow and white and red.
Blue.
So, I mean, I mean, kind of your standard colors, but purple, that's...
I like purple.
That's a bonus.
Points to you. I like purple, and, like, I like the whole new concept of the colorblind keys. For that, I think that's cool.
That's true. There is a card here. Let me pull that out of the box.
Like, I'm not colorblind. I don't know anyone who's colorblind, but I think that is a cool thing that games designers have added.
So they've added this here, and it tells you, okay, this little moon thing is blue. The little splotch is yellow. The little atom thing is green.
Is
and
everything a thing?
It's a thing.
You're just butchering the things.
whatever that thing is red. So you can tell by looking at the cards exactly what it is, and it's on the gem. So I know that all the yellow cards are going to have that splotch on it. All the green cards are going to have the little atom thing.
I just think that's cool. That's a cool thing for me.
And this played pretty fast. I mean, especially once you learn it.
And 2-player probably goes quicker than a 4-player game, but you would know. I don't.
Yeah, I've played 3, 4, 5. I don't think I've played 6.
Yeah.
And let me tell you that it just gets nuts. One of the things that we did not cover is combat with the transports. So I'll talk about that right now. So say if I was right there and I wanted to fly through this quadrant here, I could, if I had the command to make one move, I would move over there, and this is automatically destroyed. Transports are no shields, no defense, no nothing. However, say if you had that back there, and say I was here, and you were patrolling right here, I would essentially have to take that guy out first. And then once I defeated him, I also blow this up, and then in that case, I would get 3 points. I would get 1 for each ship, and then 1 for winning the battle. I think that's about it.
I think that's it too. It's a good game. Go out and get it at your local friendly game store.
It is cheap. I think it's like $20 at the game store. It's a small box.
Good for travel if you're not like going to be moving, because it's kind of a moving part game.
There's the size of the box, so
yeah. Throw it in your backpack if you're going somewhere. Play it at the airport.
And I think Joel Eddy from Drive Thru Review said this is one of the best games to play at lunch. This and maybe Innovation, which we've already played.
I like Innovation.
Red 7, that's another good one. We've already played that. And they're all by the same company, and the same designer is on both of these, Carl Chuddick. So if you look at that,
Shout out to you.
So if you like this game, or if you like Innovation, they play different. They're different than a lot of games we've ever played.
But it's cool because they're completely different. It's not the same mechanics you're used to.
I guess that's it. So we will catch you guys next time.
Bye. Like and follow us on Facebook to stay current on our show schedule, sneak peeks at future shows, and to interact with us.